Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar, GDPR webinar held by NodeGraph. So the agenda for today is that we are going to talk a little bit about what GDPR are in short. We're also going to give you an idea of how NodeGraph is compliant with this, and also we're going to showcase, present the demo of the actual module. So if you jump right into it and look into what is GDPR exactly, and that is, I mean, the right to be forgotten, the right to access, privacy by design, consent, and I mean, a lot of things that is, so to say, everything is combined to strive and protect the individual citizens of the European Union. So everything about GDPR is somewhat in between to gather and show data and present that to the individual citizens of the European Union. We would like to say that this is a very, very good thing. Everything that is for protecting people, and we also would like to say that there is so many types of data and so much data that is going out throughout the entire world. So we mean that GDPR is very good and something that we look forward to. The only thing is that there are a couple of challenges within GDPR, especially if you work a lot with personal data. And our aim and our take on this is to make the compliance as easy as possible. To look into this and to look into our, so to say, scope and our, so to say, idea and take on this entire GDPR project. And that is that you can, on a very, very rough scale, you can categorize this into three different areas: the organizational, the juridical, and also the technological side. What NodeGraph does is that we focus on the technological side, and we ensure that all personal data stored in your Click solution is GDPR compliant. To give an idea of how GDPR and our module actually works is that you need to purchase the license, because when you do that, you will be granted a new module, and everything is, so to say, ruled and distributed from this new module. So from the GDPR module, you can create new reports as well as managing existing ones. Also, this is all about tracking fields. So when you enter your GDPR module, you choose what fields you want to track, and then you select what QVDs, QVWs, and QVFs that store personal data, and you want to explore. And after that, you will just simply add the fields you want to follow. And this could also be done from our Dependency Explorer in a very, very easy way, that you can just right-click and press track field, add it to an existing report or a new report, and after that, it's just to be moving on. All the reports are being stored in our, so to say, GDPR module, and it will also be automatically generated and being, of course, able to be downloadable as well. Also, to see what is actually in the report, I mean, you will see the location of the data, who has currently access to the data, who has accessed the data in the past, and also the purpose of the data storage. Now we are going to jump into it and see it in action. So let's jump in here. I will start my NodeGraph service. So great, now we have entered the landing page of NodeGraph, and some of you might be used to the Dependency Explorer, Field Explorer, Governance module, which is the, so to say, standard package. We also, in this license, we have the test module and the GDPR module. The test module we are not going to cover today. We're going to do that in a separate webinar in a couple of weeks. So all focus today on the GDPR module. So let's see here on how easy it is to work with NodeGraph and to get GDPR compliance within the mentioned, so to say, arguments and statements that we had before. I'm going to show you two ways on how to work with these so to say, tracking fields. But let's dig into the GDPR module. Once you've entered this, you will see that I already have a saved GDPR report. I also have a list box here, or a box where I will enter some information. And let's start right away. So this report I will name personal data stored in Click. Whoops, sorry. The purpose of this is because now the purpose of all these fields I'm going to track is to sell to existing customer base. The owner of this is me, Carl Anderson, and if you want to, you can add a reference or a documentation within the organization. And this could be, so to say, general way to treat personal data doc. That is my so to say document that I have that do this juridically and also organizationally. I know for the fact that I have some fields, and the field I want to track today is a field that we have named social ID. So I will just search here in social, sorry for that again, social ID, and here I got everything that has something to do with social ID. So I can see where it's stored. I can also see in my multi-tier solution where it's actually being used, and I will add all of those fields. Press save, and then also save report. So this is how easy it is to store this data. But sometimes, I mean, you want to have also a visual overlay of what is actually being put into the Click solution. So that's why we're going to head over to the dependency explorer. Some of you are perhaps quite used to this. And this is all about the lineage part of the NodeGraph solution. I see something here, extract GDPR data. I can also, of course, search in here, GDPR, and then I will get everything. I get all the fields, file sources, and the QVDs actually stored. But I know that my file source for what I've been calling GDPR data is stored, or the source of that is an Excel file. And here I got all the fields that I'm loading into my solution. So if I press here, I can ask the, so to say, standard lineage part. I can see how the data is flowing and the lineage for the data within the application. I want to add some more fields. So I want to add the emails as well. So I can choose here from the Dependency Explorer to do a new report, or I could add this field to an existing report. Now I'm going to add it to an existing report, which is, if you remember, the personal data stored in Click. And I will just press that one, press update, and now it's updated. That's how easy it is. To go back as well, I mean, you can see here, let's go to the GDPR module. Now I want to dig into the save report, and I get a request from someone in the organization or anyone calling in or emailing us and ask the question, where is the data stored? Instead of doing all of this manually, you can just press download report. And now I need to change the application here, showing. Let's see where that one is. Oh, I got it right there. So now you should be able to see the report. So here I got the entire report, and I get the base information about that, the report name and purpose and everything around that. I get all the fields that I tracked. Remember this is this social IDs field that I've been tracking, and this is the newly added email field. I can see also that social ID is using 2 applications. And here I list the applications. I see what users has access. And in this case, there is no usage found. I could also see here a little bit more information. But this is how easy it is to work with tracking the fields and get the information about where the data is stored, who has access to the data, who has access to the data in the past, and also to see the purpose of the data. And the purpose of this data is sell to existing customer base. I will close that one down. I don't need to save it, but I can save it on my computer if I want to. But I just press down that. So now I will start the other application here. Great. So that's how easy it is. Hopefully you let's jump back into the presentation. So this was actually it, and as we always trying to aim with our webinars is to have them as short as possible. This webinar is also going to be available on our webpage for look into. And if you want to, I will send a link to everyone that participated in this webinar. If you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, don't hesitate to reach out to me at carl@nodegraph.se, and I will make sure I will answer very promptly. So thank you very much for everyone who was listening in, and hopefully we can get this started. Thank you very much. Bye.